Um, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because we are in different schedules. On behalf of SmartLeap, I want to welcome you to our first session of this project, the project of youth and equal resiliency. And I'm going to start by sharing the contents so you can go with me at the same time. Everybody sees the contents?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes, we can see.
So this will be the first session for several of models that the project has prepared for you. And the first session, that is model 1, it will be on climate change, causes, effects, and global inequalities. Also, I would like to ask you if you, by any chance, have any doubts or questions, please raise your hands and I will give you the word, okay? So for our session today, will be about to understand climate change, what drives it, how affects our planet, and why its impacts are not felt equally across the world. The objectives of our session are to understand the causes, explore what drives climate change and the role of human activity since the Industrial Revolution, explore global effects, examine environmental, social, and economic impacts affecting communities worldwide, analyze and understand how vulnerable and adaptation capacity varies across regions and populations. And this will provide us to the foundation for understanding how climate change drives inequality and links to the next model that I also will be with you about migration. I would like to start by making a small exercise with you. And what I would like you to do is to answer this first question. That is, when you hear climate change, what comes to your mind first? And then I would like you to fill with one word what you think about the future of the planet, what you see. What is your biggest hope? And what is your vision for humanity? What includes your vision for humanity? I will give you 2 minutes to do this. If anyone wants to share or put it in the chat, please do it, okay? You want me to repeat again? The first, okay, you have to mute your microphones, and if you want to speak, please, please tell me, raise your hand and tell me that you want to. Someone has the microphone on, please mute it. Okay, you can write your answers in the chat or you can speak. For the first question, when you hear climate change, what comes to your mind first? Who wants to answer this?
Hello, I want
Hello.
to try. Hello.
Yes,
Okay,
welcome.
let me try. Okay.
Very
Hello?
good. Yes, Tom, you can talk. I
Okay.
see that you are
Okay.
in the place with a lot of people, but I'm
No
very
problem.
pleased that you are the first one.
Okay. Let me try. My name is Tom Kayang Richard from Malawi. I
Oh,
want to Tom Kayang Richard from Malawi.
mm-hmm.
Okay, I just wanted to I want to know about climate change. When I say climate change, I see like at first people in Malawi, like at first Malawi, we are experiencing heavy rainfall starting from October to December. But now there is some changes. Like now we are experiencing like climate change. Like now we are receiving rainfall at end November. So if
Oh,
we say about climate change, I just interpret like that. Now we are experiencing low rainfall starting from November to December. While at first we are receiving high rainfall. Also, I understand the climate like at first, like in Malawi, we were growing crops without application of fertilizer. But now, when we see now today, like now we are using fertilizer, there is land degradation. Because of that, I see there is a climate change because our ancestors were growing crops without application of any chemical fertilizer. But now, because of climate change, there is no food basket. There is no food basket.
okay.
Yeah, I understand that like, there is some climate change there. Yes.
Okay. So, Tom, tell
Thank you.
me something. And when you think about the planet's future, what do you see? When you
Okay.
think of
When
just
I
one
see
word, just one word, one word.
a future
Degradation.
a degradation.
Yes. And
Yeah.
your biggest hope, what is your biggest hope?
My biggest hope is to restoration.
Okay. And
Yeah.
your vision for humanity includes what? One word.
My vision for humanity is what I okay, like my vision for humanity is to protect the environment,
Okay.
our nature, our planet.
Thank you very much for your contributions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now I will
Thank you.
give the word to Naomi. Please mute your microphone and let Naomi speak. Naomi, speak. Hi,
Thank you,
Naomi.
thank
How
you.
are you?
I'm well. I'm good to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. So when I hear climate change, what I think of our planet, our environment, and the role for us as humans to take care of it. And then when I see the future, when I think of the future, what do I see? I see a technology-based future, technology solution-based. And then what is my hope? My biggest hope is in innovation. So a little bit about that, innovation solutions that will help our climate, the current climate crisis. And then my vision for humanity, it includes peace and sustainability of our own planet and our own environment. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Also, I have here Francisca that says that climate change is long-term shift in the Earth's average temperature and weather condition. Thank you, Francisca. Abdul, do you want to share your thoughts also? Abdul Latif.
Yes, thank you very much for acknowledging my hand. I'm Abdul Latif Idrisu, a Ghanaian, and I'm happy. I'm very happy to be here. When I
We
hear
also are
about,
very happy to have you.
yeah, I'm happy to be here. Yeah, so when I hear about climate change, what comes to mind is the disturbing trend. I mean, the human activities that destroy the environment in which we live in. So my biggest hope is how we can be able to leverage on artificial intelligence and technology in the future. So my vision is where I live, usually they cut trees anyhow. So my vision for the future and humanity is a future where we can be able to plant more trees along streets and everywhere, so they can be green environment.
Thank you. And what is your biggest hope?
My biggest hope is how we can leverage on artificial intelligence and technology to,
Okay.
Yeah.
So your vision for humanity includes?
My vision, that is what I said. My vision is for us to be able to plant more trees.
Okay. Who wants to speak more? I will have 2 more people speaking about. You are discussing, but you don't discuss with me. Okay. Who is discussing this issue? Okay, Sina, please speak.
Maybe I can say something.
Yes, you may, and I'll be very pleased with that. You raised your hand, Sina. Sina Miyaka.
Yes, hi, I'm Saina Mwiaga from Malawi. When I think about climate change, I think it's about changes in climate. The way we used to experience climate in the past is not the same way we're experiencing climate now. And when I think about climate, when I think about the planet in the future, I see that if we're not going to change the way we do things, there is going to be danger in our climate. And my biggest hope is that we can work together to restore the changes that have been happening for the West. And my vision for humanity includes helping restoring the climate in different ways. Thank you.
You're welcome. I have 2 more participants with the hand raised, Assam and Sitka. Who wants to, Assam, speak you first, please.
Thanks for your opportunity. My name is Hassan Hussein from Malawi. Climate change is a long-term change in temperature, rainfall patterns, as well as the wind. In temperature, we're talking about global warming. In rainfall, we are talking about floods and droughts. So my biggest hope is to come up with some initiative that will help to mitigate these challenges. Thank you.
Thank you. I have several messages here in chat. Immaculate says that climate change is the long-term planet warming global temperature. Bernasio says that could you take, no, okay. The vision for humanity from Tom, he wrote also, is to protect the environment and by promoting sustainable resilience practice. Clara says that when I hear of climate change, what comes to my mind is the change in the weather patterns, even in terms of how rains are falling, on how the rains falls and the amount of it and the time it starts falling. Immaculate says the vision is for us to be able to take measurement to improve the climate change damages. And Naomi says, I also have my biggest hopes in youth empowerment. And Zafarani says that when I think of climate change, I think of the drastic increase in temperature of the Earth caused by human activities. I'm very pleased that you all have this notion. And as you can see about your thoughts, this reminds us that climate change is not just about science or policy. It is deeply human. So I have a new one here. No, it's okay. So that leads us with the understanding about climate change, and that for that we need its definition. So climate change refers to long-term shift in temperatures and in weather patterns, while natural factors like volcanic eruptions and solar cycles play a role. The current trend is primarily driven by human activities, especially burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial processes. In this sense, climate change...
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Okay.
apologize. We had
Okay.
we had a survey.
Okay. Yes, not now. We will do a break. Yes, you are right. We have to do a survey before we. Do you have it in chat?
Yes, I just put it in the chat.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to fill this survey that Sitka has put it in here. You see?
It's a pretest.
Sitka, yes, a pre-test, and then we go on. I will give you 2 minutes to fill because that is very short. I also did it. If everyone already filled the questionnaire, I will go on. As I was saying, climate change has become one of the most pressing global challenges, not only because of its environmental impacts, but also because of the inequalities it reinforces between countries and within societies. So in this first model, we are trying to introduce the causes, the effects, and the unequal nature of climate change to understand how we can contribute for a better world, I hope. And, in May 1956, Gilbert Pass, it is a physician, a Canadian physician, studied the implications of the increase in carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere. And this was originated from industrial sources and the consequent increase in temperature on Earth, explained the mechanism of the greenhouse effect and its relationship with the absorption of thermal infrared, in addition to producing measurements and estimates. And science knows the phenomenon and the mechanism of greenhouse effects for a long time, and its relation with the release of greenhouse gases by human activities, and they quantify very precisely and estimate the future consequences of the continuing increase of this concentration. So The results long ago to large companies involved in the exploration and sale of fossil fuels, which they try as much as possible to hide and devalue, it is fact, and some continue to do so. Sorry. So the causes of climate change, can you, Funda, can you admit the participants, because always they are appearing here in my screen?
Yeah, I actually admit them, but
okay, they are
I
too
think
many. Yes,
they quit
okay.
and they come back.
Okay, so on August 9, 2021, in the AR6 climate was launched, and with the physical science basis, a document with 4,000 pages. It is not the definitive version, as is still opening for editing, but the summary for policymakers is the final version that you can consult at this link. And the conclusions are: rising air temperatures at the base of the troposphere, more water vapor in the atmosphere due to the increase in temperature over the Earth, decrease in volume of glaciers, decrease snow cover, decrease in sea ice area, increase in sea air temperature, rising sea temperature, and increased heat content in the ocean, and rising sea level due to melting and expansion due to increased temperatures. The scientific consensus is clear. Current climate change is largely anthropogenic, caused by human activity, and the key drivers are greenhouse gases that trap heat in Earth's atmosphere, creating the greenhouse effect that you know. The human activities with energy production, the burning of fossil fuels for electricity and heat is the largest single source of global gas emissions. The deforestation forests absorb CO2 when they are cleared for agriculture or urban development. Both the stored carbon and the natural carbon sink capacity are lost. Agriculture, livestock production emits methane, while fertilizers contribute nitrogen oxide. And industrialization and transport, manufacturing and transportation systems depend heavily on fossil fuel, so contributes significantly to CO2 emissions. As natural factors, we have the process such as volcanic eruption or variation in solar radiation can influence short-term climate patterns, but they do not explain the current rapid warming trend. The Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, I'm sorry, I have to go here. Has attributed more than 95% observed global warming since 1950 to human causes. And if the trends remain in 2100, we will have an increase of 4.8 degrees in the average temperature global. And this is very dangerous for the planet, because we are all noticing the differences. It's not necessary to be a scientist to notice this. And all this damage that we are causing to the planet are not possible to restore. They will last for centuries and millenniums. So climate change is the tip of the iceberg of a failed system. Despite all efforts to promote viable solutions, biodiversity loss, environmental impacts, and greenhouse gas emission continue to worsen and are at the heart of multiple crises that are rooted in the core of our current social, economic, and political system. The science is clear. We have only a few years left without our current carbon budget reserves to stay within 1.5 degrees limit. Harmful and controversial technologies are gaining traction as an effective way to reach the 1.5C limit, and the consequences of implementing technological solutions can be irreversible and continue to affect the poorest and most vulnerable communities. And the energy sector represents 2/3 of total gas emissions and 80% of CO2. Instead of eliminating progressively wean itself from fossil fuels and shift to renewable energy systems. So this transition must be fair, inclusive, and transparent, based on planetary boundaries and the understanding that we are living on a finite planet. You can say, like, for example, oh, but how can we do this? All of us need to do our part. I used to tell a story about, this little bird, the colibri. The colibri, he stays in the flowers and takes some little drops of water or of liquid. And one day he was in a fire and he starts putting little drops in the fire, and the other ones said to him, "Are you crazy? Do you think you are going to erase the fire with these little drops?" And he said, "I do my part." So that's what I ask for you, is that each one of you, wherever you are in the place of this planet, you can do your part. We cannot change the world by ourselves, but we can change the world together, because I think that teamwork is the most strong thing in the world. And if each one of you do your part, and I notice that all of you want a better world, a better society, a better country, it is impossible to do it alone, but it is possible to do it together. We have to be aware. Yes, Sitka, you have raised your hand. No? Okay.
No.
We are aware that, or if you are not, I have to tell you that there are 9 planetary limits. Science points to limits to human interface in the Earth system. Beyond the impacts became too severe and dangerous. In 2009, a group of 29 scientists led by Jonathan Rockstrom from Stockholm University published an article in the journal Nature, which defined 9 physical limits for planet Earth that humanity must not transgress. Exceeding any of these limits can cause sudden instability in essential life support systems, and you can consult it in this link. But this chart shows that 7 of the 9 planetary boundaries have already been exceeded. The climate change, biosphere integrity, biogeochemical flows, land systems change, freshwater use, ocean acidification, and novel entities, chemicals. And atmospheric aerosols remain in the risk zone, while ozone layer depletion is still safe thanks to the Montreal Protocol. This will impact in the so well-known sustainable goals of 2030 that only was achieved 18%. And the transgression of these boundaries directly compromises the sustainable goals related to poverty, eradication, food security, health, and clean water. And the ecosystem collapse and resource scarcity made it impossible to achieve social and environmental targets, aggravating inequalities and increasing vulnerabilities. Also, recently in Brazil, there was this COP30 that reinforced the need to accelerate climate action and ensure a just transition. However, the overshoot of multiple boundaries indicate that currently commitments are insufficient. The 1.5 degrees overshoot ongoing biodiversity loss demand transformative changes, not just incremental measures. The scientific consensus is clear. Current climate change is largely anthropogenic, caused by human activity, and what drives this climate change, the greenhouse gases produced mainly through fossil combustion, coal, oil, and natural gas, and deforestation, methane emitted by, I'm not a chemical, but emitted by agriculture, especially livestock, waste decomposition, and fossil fuel extraction, nitrous oxide with the release by agriculture fertilizers and industrial processes. And the human activities with energy production, the burning of fossil fuels for electricity and heat, and the largest single source of global gas emissions. The deforestation, forests absorb CO2, and when they are cleared for agriculture or urban development, both the stored carbon and the natural carbon sink capacity are lost. Agriculture, as I told you, and industrialization and transport with the systems, as I told you before, depending heavily for fossil fuels and contributing significantly to CO emissions. And the natural factors that I already spoke about, like volcanic activity and solar cycles, play a minor role compared to human impact. The effects of climate change will be are wide-ranging, influence both environmental and human system, and these effects can be categorized into physical impacts and social economic consequences. This is like a process, like the sunlight arrives, the solar energy warms the Earth's surface, and then it trapped greenhouse gases prevent some heat from escaping to space. And the temperature rises, increasing the gas trap more heat and raising global temperatures. But the environmental impacts, the global temperatures have already risen by over 1.1 degree above pre-industrial levels, leading to more frequent and intense heat waves. The melting ice and sea level rise, the melting of glaciers and polar ice caps contributes to rising sea levels and threatening coastal communities. Extreme weather, the frequency and intensity of storms, floods, and droughts are increasing. And the ecosystem disruption, biodiversity loss, coral bleaching, and shifts in habitat range are direct outcomes of changing climate conditions. But we have another issue. We have our health in stake. First, because of the pollution of the seas. The fish that we are eating has a lot of microplastics and a lot of chemics that are from the trash and the oil and everything that we throw to the sea. And besides that, this melting of the ices is going to permit that some bacteria, some virus that was frozen for millenniums start to coming out, and we don't know how to deal with that. We don't know how to deal with this kind of virus that can be in human health or animal health, and that is going to cause a lot of consequences. So, like I said, rising temperatures will intensify glacier melt, cause sea level rise also, extreme weather, more intense storms, and ecosystem disruption. This will lead to social and economic consequences, reduced crop yields, water scarcity, and changing rain patterns that affect food, especially supply and rural livelihoods. The health impacts that I told you related with diseases and also malnutrition that are increasing, and the economic losses like climate disasters caused by billions in damage annually, and especially in low-income regions. And we will see that in the next model, the displacement and migration, environmental degradation, and extreme weather event force people to move, leading to gross phenomenon of climate migration. I will stop a little bit here because I would like to ask you for something. I would like you that you go to a YouTube channel that is transmitting this course and put a like there. Can you do that for me, for Smart Leap, for the project? Can you put, Funda, on the chat the link for YouTube, please?
Okay, I will.
Oh, I have so many messages here. My God. Okay, I will share the slides. I mean, I will give to Smart Leap, and Smart Leap will send to the project manager, and then okay. Just to stop a little bit of so much information.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it okay that some can try and do the like afterwards?
Oh, that is not with me. Sitka.
Okay. Because my understanding is some of them might have challenges in
Yes,
joining
yeah, of
at the
course you
moment.
can put a like afterwards. I just, yes, I think so.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
please do it.
Okay.
All right.
Very good. Okay. So, we all know that with these human consequences, food and water is insecure. Climate disruption threaten agricultural systems and water supplies. Health risk, we already talked about it. Disease spread, air quality issues impact vulnerable population, economic losses, natural disasters that I also talked about, and displacement. What I would like to know, if some of you want to share of me, is think one of climate impact you have seen or heard about recently, and how did it affect people? Before, I also heard on your testimonies that there are impacts in your countries with climate change, but I want to hear about other countries and other participants. Can you do that? So I heard about Uganda and Malawi. Who is in this audience from other countries?
I think there is Tanzanians.
Oh, I would like to hear about Tanzania also. Let me see. Tanzania. Now, Naomi, can you talk a little bit about what's happening in your country that could impact and affect people with these issues of climate change? Okay, Deborah. Deborah wants to start. Ethiopia, please. Got this. Okay. We start with Deborah, then we go to Tanzania, and then we go to Ethiopia. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Very good. So let's
Okay.
hear.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Actually, as for Malawi's vulnerability to climate change, starts with floods, droughts, and elastic rains. With, I believe, that 80% of the people relying on rain and agriculture-fed kind of food, the impact hits hard because the agriculture and food that we're talking about, and due to climate change and the floods and everything that has happened, there has been crop failures. For example, here in Malawi, we believe in maize, sorghum, and everything. So nothing grows to the extent that leads to people's expectations anymore because the land and everything has been tampered. And actually, we can look at the impact on healthy and water. There has been shrinking of Lake Malawi somehow, like due to the floods and the drought that was there. And actually, we're talking about diseases like cholera and diarrhea that has come due to the disasters and situations that were there. And in terms of economy, we can see that due to the floods and everything, the economy as well has been affected because in the first place, we had a very good example can be this Cyclone Freddy that we had. It means that the government had to spend so much money to help those who were affected instead of just using that money in other economic factors and other economic issues. So, literally, by looking at that, we're seeing also that the economy has been affected and the governance as well, it has been affected. So, yeah, there have been so much and so many things that have been going on in Malawi lately. Just to mention a few is what I've mentioned now.
Thank you. I have another person here with their hand raised. It is
Oneka from Kenya.
Yes, very good. Can you share your examples?
Yes, in Kenya we are having a challenge, especially with erratic rainfall, disrupting agriculture. And then, of course, we also sit on the Great Rift Valley. We have witnessed some very strange patterns, whereby it looks like we have some roads that are getting submerged, and this could actually be because of the climate challenges issues. And of course, agriculture used to be the mainstay of the Kenyan economy in the 1970s, up to 80s. Nowadays, the rural communities' poverty levels are quite very high. Why? Because of the population increase and the fact that rainfall is never guaranteed and the absence of irrigation, then the people are now forced no longer to rely on agriculture. So majority of them now will migrate to the urban area, rural areas, for them to be able to sustain themselves in the countryside. So the rainfall patterns are quite low. In Kenya, when you go to northern Kenya, which is much more of a desert, the situation has actually been exacerbated because you realize that in that area, it will take up to 3 to 4 years before the people receive rainfall, which is quite a big challenge in that area. And all these things are happening actually because of the climate change challenges. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I have Abdul Latif. Abdul, did you want to say something?
Yes, I want to say something. Thank you very much once again for the opportunity. I'm from Ghana, and I want to share something. What I say recently about climate change. It has to do with agriculture. The recent weather patterns that is unpredictable has caused many farmers here to do to accumulate great losses. You see, the main economic activity here is agriculture, and in recent years we've not been able to predict the weather patterns. So this has forced left many farmers wondering as to when to plant and when to do some certain things. I think this has contributed to the great loss of farming activities in the country, and also leading to health rate. Due to the unpredictable rainfall patterns, there've been, the outbreak of fall armyworms, which forces farmers to use to overuse chemical pesticides. So this perpetuates a vicious cycle of health risks to those who consume it. So I think this has a great impact on the farmers and to the Ghanaian populace. And also displacement. In recent years, we've heard about the spillage of the Bagri Dam. This has forced many people living there to flee to some other places, displacing them, and the vulnerable ones suffer the most. So I think this has a great major, negative impact on the people of Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Also, I would like to hear Gadis from Ethiopia. Are you there, Gadis? If not, Marsan or Stephen, one of them. Stephen, can you talk? I don't think they are hearing.
Stephen Bitonje.
Okay.
Well, yes, I want to say that.
Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Malawi.
Okay.
Yeah, so on the same issue of climate change, last year we also experienced the same in terms of drought. This causes great losses, especially to farmers. They have losses in terms of drought. So this drought clearly shows how climate change impact this shows how climate change impact the financial status of the farmers. So we can clearly see that many farmers lose their
business.
Many farmers. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I hear you very well.
All right. I'm saying farmers lose their crops due to drought, and on the same, they also experience financial problem in terms of drought. So this shows clearly how climate change affects people's livelihood, their financial status. So we can say that here, especially the side which I'm living, many farmers do not have their yield as expected. So that's indication of climate change as well.
Okay. Thank you. I would like to ask you something, all of you. Is it possible that you write a small page or half a page writing of your issues in your country? You can make it in group if you want, and send it to the project so we can make like a content analysis of the problems of your countries. Can you do that for us? Just do a half page with the most important consequences that have been in affecting people in your countries, because you cannot, all of you can talk. So I would like to have that testimony of your part. Can you do it? Can I count with that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
It will be done.
Yeah, thank you very much. Proceeding this, we know from your testimonies and from the things that we are being talking here that climate change amplifies inequalities. An equal burden, an equal responsibility. For example, global north versus global south. Also, sorry. Sometimes this happens. And poor communities have fewer adaptive options and resources to relocate safely. And industrialized nations in global north are responsible for the majority of historical global gas emissions. In contrast, developing countries in the global south have contributed the least but face the most severe impacts. So there is this responsibility gap. Those least responsible for emissions face the greatest displacement risks. The per capita emissions, wealthy countries have higher per capita emissions. For example, an average American emits over 10 times more CO2 annually than an average African citizen. And the inequality impacts and vulnerability, the adaptive capacity, wealthier nations can invest in infrastructures, technology, and disaster preparation, while poorest nations lack these resources. And a geographic exposure. Many developing countries are located in climate-sensitive regions with the drought-prone areas, low-lying islands, and are due more exposed. Economic dependence also. Economists reliant on agriculture, fisheries, or tourism are more vulnerable to environmental shocks. And there is another issue that is climate justice and fairness. Climate justice emphasizes that those who have contributed the least to climate change should not bear the greatest burdens. It calls for fairness in mitigation and adaptation efforts, including financial support, technology transfer, and share global responsibility. And we have the primary effects, that is changes in weather, the secondary effects, that is changes in the ecosystem, and the third tier effects, that is changes in society. So these global inequalities have social and economic implications, and there is a paradox. As I told you, to resume, developed countries emit the most but face fewer immediate risks. Developing countries contribute least but are most affected and vulnerable, linked to poverty, geography, and weak infrastructure. Also, I can show you here that, as you see in these 2013 emission gaps, the average of the Americans, the historical responsibility of industrialized nations account for 80% of cumulative emissions since 1850, and a minimal impact of 1%. Many developing countries contribute less than 1% of global emissions. So does this distribution feels fair? Climate change justice demands we address this imbalance. And we see that climate change does not affect everyone equally. These combined effects of environmental degradation, poverty, and limited governance capacity often force communities to move in regions where adaptation is constrained. Migration becomes a survival strategy. The most vulnerable populations are often those with the fewest resources to migration safely. And that's why I say that climate crisis perpetuates inequality, economic, social, and political systems. The promises of pathways to reduce emissions to which government committed in 2015 are incompatible with what scientific research highlights. And to achieve sustainability, we need to change our mindset. As I told you, we have to have a mindset of win-win. Sustainability is not a competitive concept. It is a cooperative, a collaborative concept. We have to do it together. It is a process. If something is sustainable, it's because it is in harmony, because everything has its space. That's why the sustainable goals say, leave no one behind. It's not that country or the other, that community or the other. It has to be all. All of us are responsible for what we are doing with our world, and we have to leave these crystallized models of false security. We can make money, we can be prosper, but we cannot create asymmetries. Otherwise, this is going to perpetuate all these inequalities. And climate change is not about the uncertain future of our grandchildren, not about the future of the next generation. It is happening now. And the decisions we make today and in the next decade will shape the fate or of the society as a whole. So the transition or change can be our choice, or it's going to be imposed by all the disasters that can happen with these issues that we are now seeing every day, even faster. Because before we could adapt to some crises, but now crises are so quickly and affect so many people. For example, with the COVID, 250 million people were thrown to severe poverty. So if we don't take care of our planet, and it is like a common sense to say we have only one planet, there is no planet B, but the truth is that there is no planet B. We only have one planet. And people should live with well-being, because we are the core of the planet. It's not the companies, it's not the politics, it is people. We are talking about people. Without people, there is no society. So there is no business, there is no politics to rule, because they don't have people to rule. So I think we have to change our mindset. We have to start thinking about less, what can I take from the world, and more, what can I give to the world? And this will be very good, because it will give you also something that people don't know for a long time: happiness. When we start giving, things happen. And we need to change our way of thinking and start thinking as the other, like the humanity. It's not our neighbor, it is a whole. So to move forward, we have to do it together, as I said. We have to share responsibility. Wealthy nations must support adaptation efforts globally. We have to advocate for climate justice, fairness in causes, effects, and response guides or path forward. Climate financing resources must flow to vulnerable communities for resilience. Technological transfer, clean technology, and knowledge sharing enables sustainable development, because climate change is a human driver. It impacts our uneven, and shared responsibility is an imperative. How global challenge that demands collective action, understanding its cause and unequal effects helps build a foundation for fairness and cooperation. As we move forward, the central question remains. And that's the question I will leave today for you. How can humanity respond to climate change in a way that protects both people and the planet if we don't work together? If each one of us works just for themselves. So this question will lead you directly to the next model, which is going to examine climate migration and the human security dimension of climate change. But before I end, I would like you to go again to that, I leave you here some bibliography, to go again to that protest.
Okay.
That
okay. Before ending the session,
we are not going ending that. First, you are going to
Yes, I will
fill again.
share the link via the chat.
And then I would like to talk with the
post-testing.
participants.
Okay.
This is all
Everyone,
with the time also,
please
1 hour.
fill
It's
the
okay.
form.
Actually, this is the same.
Yes, it's same.
So it will show, you know, the contribution of the workshop
I hope so.
to our understanding.
Well, yeah, I hope so. For today, it's too much information.
I'm also sharing our YouTube account once again, so you can subscribe.
To put the like. Don't forget to fill the post test. You go to this link here in the chat and you fill the post test, okay? Please. My colleagues are asking that you do that because it's very important to see the results for today. Thank you. No. It is the claps. Yeah. Oh, everybody's putting done. Are you satisfied now, Sitka? Okay. I would like to ask you to open your cameras so I can see your faces. It's very important. The ones that can do it, please do it.
Actually, we have 56 people currently on the list.
Yes, see? Okay.
About 10 seconds
I would
ago,
like,
only
yes.
16, only 16 filled out the post test.
I would like to ask them all,
Please fill
please.
out the post test.
Oh, that's very good. When I see your faces, things become more human. I would like to share you with something. In fact, originally, I am from Africa. I am from Mozambique, so I understand very well what's happening in your countries. And my research is exactly on this kind of issues and on the migration, climate migration also. That's why I ask you if you could send me a small page or half a page of your testimonies. That will be very important for me and for the future of this, although we cannot change, as I said, alone, but we can change together. each one of you has a part in this process. I would like to ask you also if it was important for you, this course, this small model, because we never have time to discuss, but maybe in the future we can arrange some moments together to discuss these issues in detail, not in the scope of this project, but in other Zoom meetings or whatever. Does anyone wants to talk about what was this course, please? Like an evaluation or something?
Yeah, sure. I would like to say something. Thank you so much, Dr. Rocha, for taking an initiative to come forward and be with us on this platform. We truly appreciate. I should say the presentation is quite good, and I've liked the process, especially in involving us to say about what our countries are experiencing as far as climate change is concerned. And the fact that we are building into the next module, which is about climate migration and human security, which is quite a very good topic. I'm looking forward to that because these are some of the recent things that we've been seeing in our country. And I think it would be quite a good moment that we share the experiences and how people are being affected right now and how best we can work together to ensure that we're able to curb some of these human practices that are influencing the rise of climate change issues. So I truly appreciate and looking forward to the next module. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your words. I'm looking forward for the next model also. And I truly appreciate the opportunity of being with you all